Well, hello, fellow campers. So, a little bit more of this update on switching RVs. Thought it would be a good thing to give a little bit of background. We started our RV adventure back around 2011, sometime around 2011. We decided that we were done with tent camping. When we were raising our kids, we always camped in a tent. We eventually upgraded to having air mattresses and a cot inside the tent. But once all the kids were gone, we decided that we didn't need to do any more tent camping and sleeping on the ground. So we started looking at RVs. And I had a red F-250 pickup truck. Now, it was a gas engine pickup, not a diesel. And so we looked at travel trailers. Thought that would be pretty easy to work with. And we ended up finding a really nice travel trailer. We lived in North Carolina at the time, and we found a very nice travel trailer up in Virginia. So we packed up the truck. We did all the coordinating that we needed to do with. Oh, and we found the trailer on eBay, by the way. So we made the travel trailer purchase through eBay, and we headed up to Virginia with the truck to pick up the trailer. Now, the guy that we bought the trailer from was also selling his Ford F-250 diesel pickup that he had used to move the trailer around when he and his family used it. And we're like, whatever. We got an F-250 as well, so we're good. We went through the process. We purchased the trailer. We made the payment. We put the insurance on it, and we hooked it up to our F-250 gas. It was a nice trailer. It was about 30 feet long. Did not have a generator. It had a very small storage compartment at the very back. It was a front kitchen, front living, a pass-through bathroom. It was a large bathroom, and then it had a queen-size bedroom in the back with a sliding door closet. So it was a nice travel trailer. It had been well maintained, and we hooked it up to the truck and began the drive back to North Carolina, and found out the difference between an F-250 gas and an F-250 diesel. So the trailer, empty, was right about at the limit of the F-250 gas that I had. So it was not a fun drive back to our house at North Carolina. But we had a lot of space, so I pulled it in, I parked it, I figured out how to get it unhooked, not too hard. I figured out how to get it set up, get the tongue down. Everything was manual. Like, I didn't have auto level. I was the auto leveler, so manual. And I didn't understand that the stabilizing jacks were just for stabilizing. I thought I could use them to help me level the trailer. I quickly found out that the leveling jacks were not, that the stabilizing jacks were not for leveling. And, just through trial and error, I figured out how to winterize it, figured out how to make it work. I know it had at least one slide because the kitchen table and the sofa slid out. Like I said, it was a front kitchen. It had a lot of storage in it, so we got really lucky with our first time buy, and just, looking on the internet and eBay in particular to get that trailer. And I liked it. I wanted to get a larger truck to tow it more easily, so I ended up going back to eBay and bidding on a couple different diesel trucks. I wanted a dually. I thought that would help me with trailer sway. So I ended up getting a GMC 3500 diesel Duramax. I still have that truck, and it works really well. And like the one time I pulled the travel trailer with it, it worked just fine. It was like the trailer wasn't there. So why do we not have that trailer? Well, we have cats, and at the time we had 4 cats. We did not have a dog at the time. We do now, a small, wonderful Yorkie. But when we were making our plans to travel, my wife did not want the cats riding in the travel trailer while we rode in the truck. Now it's a crew crabs. It's got an 8-foot bed, so I was like, that makes sense. We don't want to put the animals back there. If something goes wrong, we don't want harm to the animals. We don't want anything falling on them, for example, or them jumping up on stuff. So I got a shell for the back of the pickup. I put in a sliding glass window to the bed, and our plan was we would put the cat box in the back of the pickup, and the cats could, have free range of the truck basically while we towed the trailer, so they could get back into the bed and do their business, and we'd have the bed nicened up so that the cats would be comfortable. But then my wife decided, well, what if I want to get up and make a sandwich or get a drink or go to the refrigerator or use the bathroom? We have to stop. We have to pull over somewhere. We have to get out. We have to set things up. And so that made sense. So before we did some backyard camping to test the camper and work with it, but I think the next time I pulled it somewhere was to an RV dealership where we traded the red F-250, because now I had the GMC 3500 dually diesel. I didn't need 2 trucks. So we traded the truck, we traded the towing equipment, and we traded the trailer all together for a Class C. And we owned the trailer and the truck, so we had no payments on those but insurance. And we traded straight across the board for the Class C, so we had no payments on the Class C other than insurance. And again, we got pretty lucky. We didn't really know what we were looking for. We just knew we were looking for something that was motorized and that we could move around in, and that the animals could be in while we were moving. So we got this Class C. It was a 30-foot Class C. It had been a 30-foot travel trailer, but the Class C had no slides, so at the time it didn't really make a difference to us. It was just the 2 of us. So we did a lot of work on the Class C. It was a 2002. We got it in probably 2012. We immediately put on a new roof. We put on new tires. We replaced the refrigerator because the one that came with the unit stopped working. And other than that, learning how to make the Class C work, it was really good. We could do all the things that we wanted to do. Like I had said in the first video, we had plenty of storage room on the inside. We had plenty of storage room on the outside. And I took care of it. I had it serviced at least once every year. I did the winterizing myself. And we still have that Class C. It's sitting out behind this Class A where you saw it yesterday. And I'm a little bit torn. I don't really want to get rid of that Class C because I own it. Like I said, it's just insurance payments. Everything on it works. It meets all of our needs. But it's starting to get old. Like you can tell it's getting old. It needs some major cosmetic upgrades to look good. I think we've got about 58,000 miles on it now. And like I said, everything works. It runs. I just had the generator running today, running the AC while I was moving some more stuff out of the Class C. So I'm a little bit torn about what to do with the Class C. I can't drive 2 RVs at the same time. And oh, by the way, we have another travel trailer that I use to rent out. So I've got a travel trailer. I've got the GMC 3500 dually diesel to pull that travel trailer. I've got a Class C. We've got an Ford Expedition, and now we have a Class A. So, I think that I will probably do a little bit of work to the Class C and put that up for rent as well. I mean, to me, it does not make sense to sell it, because since it's a 2002, nobody cares that, it works and it's been well maintained. Everybody's like, it's a 2002. So you look at like the J.D. Powers RV guide for it, and I think some retail is somewhere between $3,000 and $5,000. I could make that much in one summer just renting it, but if I rent it, I probably will make it a delivery only, and like whoever rents it won't have the ignition key, because I don't think it would be a bit stressful to let somebody else drive the RV, the old saying, drive it like it's rented. Yeah, I don't want that with this RV. So, I don't know. Leave comments for us if you've got ideas. If you're a multi-RV family, and, what do you do with the ones that you don't use? I don't want it just sitting in the driveway, so I'm looking for ideas. I am leaning very much towards renting, but renting it, again, as a delivery only, and just make money during the summer. And I can push that one a little bit earlier in the year and a little bit later in the year than the travel trailer, because the travel trailer, all of the holding tanks, freshwater, black water, gray water, they're all exposed. There's no heating pads, they're not enclosed. Things would just freeze up too early around here or too late around here. So the Class C, though, it's enclosed. If it's cold outside and somebody's running the furnace on the inside to heat the inside, it's heating the tanks. So I think I could get probably 2 additional months out of that rental, which potentially is another $1,000 or so, depending on if it were rented and what I charged. But yeah, leave us some comments. Tell us what you think about what would be a good thing to do with this RV. I've also thought about maybe donating it to a charitable organization and claiming, more than the average retail sale for a 2002 no slide Class C. And oh, by the way, nobody cares that it's only got 58,000 miles. It's a gas. Just like I told you guys yesterday, both the Class C and the Class A have the Triton V10 engine. So that's a little bit of the background. We've dealt with RVs. We've figured RVs out. I've mostly maintained them myself, but like I had a professional replace the roof on the Class C. I had a professional replace the refrigerator in the Class C. I don't do any of the tire changing. We use a roadside assistance for that. So it seems like every trip that we've ever been on, except that very first one with the travel trailer, that we've had to make use of our roadside assistance because we get a tire or more that blow out. Like I said, we've replaced all the tires on the Class C the very first trip we did. Now, we didn't replace them at the dealer all at one time. They blew out along the trip up the East Coast, so they got replaced one at a time, which was an expensive way to do it. And now part of my annual inspections that I have done includes an assessment of the tires and replacing them if they're even questionable. So we're not newbies to the RV life, but we were full-time for about 8 months when I retired, The plan was to do a lot of things that didn't happen. And we ended up being in the Class C full-time for about 8 months. And we had spent some time in it before that, just doing, like I said, trips up to Maine, looking for places that maybe we wanted to retire at. But I have not figured out the black tank issue. When I hooked up to the black tank flush and had that water come out on the other side, I need to clarify that, like, poop water did not come out. It was fresh water. Like, so there was no poop, there was no stink, there was no brown in the water that came out over the tires on the passenger side. So I didn't have that kind of problem. But then it occurred to me that when I filled up the freshwater tank the first time, I cleaned it, I sanitized it, and when I filled it up to do the sanitizing, I didn't have a gauge to count the gallons that had gone in, so I was just expecting the water to kick back out, like happens on my Class C and on the travel trailer I have. When it gets full, the water just comes back out, and I was expecting that on this Class A, but the water did not come back out when I was filling the tank to do the sanitizing. Again, I heard the water dripping, running out over the passenger's rear tires. I was like, oh, that must be telling me that the tank is full. So maybe there's a runover valve over there. Maybe there's a hole. I don't know. When we drove around and did that first camping trip in this Class A, I filled the tanks because I wanted to kind of check the gas mileage, and 50 gallons of water weighs a lot. So I wanted to see how that worked. And there wasn't any sloshing around, and when we got to the RV park, there wasn't water over in the passenger side bay. That only happened, like I said, the first time when I filled the fresh water tank to sanitize it, and when I hooked up to the black tank flush. So there's two things going on there that both resulted in water spilling down over the rear passenger tire area and into one of the storage compartments over there that also happens to have the hot water heater and the inverter for the residential refrigerator. So not a good idea to have a lot of water building up in there. So that's kind of where we are. The video's running a little bit long, but we'll keep you up to date as we make this switch between RVs and what we decide to do with all the other RVs that we have. So I look forward to your comments, and if you've got any ideas or suggestions or have had experience with water coming out the opposite side, like putting the water in, the water bay is on the driver's side, the water spilled out on the passenger side. So if you've had any experience with that, or if you have any specific experience with a Georgetown 351 DS, I would like to definitely hear about that in the comments below. So thank you for spending about 19 minutes with me tonight, and we'll talk to you later. Thanks.